I would have tilted it.
Yeah, Marcus, get some good pictures of me.
I'm telling my mom.
As a reminder, no filming is permitted during the press conference except by the designated team delegate. Please silence all cell phones. Welcome to today's press conference for the Norfolk State Spartans student athletes. Norfolk State Sports Information Director is Alex Lembeck. Today we are joined by student athletes Nia Fields, Diamond Johnson, and Kiera Wheeler. We'll now take questions for the student athletes. Please state your name and affiliation at the beginning of each question. If you're on the Zoom call and have a question, please use the raise hand function, and I will call on you if we have time for your question.
Hi, ladies. Janie McCauley from Associated Press. Nice to see you. How was the trip out, and how's California? Are you acclimating and sort of maybe take us through a little bit of your first day here and when you got here and prepping and getting ready to face Stanford?
Our first day in Cali was pretty exciting. We arrived on the charter flight, and it was like a good experience for my team because we had never done that before. So just coming to Cali, this is my second time in Cali, so I was really just trying to, enjoy the sun and just look at the mountains and just really get to know the area.
Yeah, same. It was nice. We landed, I think about like 2 p.m. Went to the hotel. The hotel is really nice. Just the views, like the trees and everything. You see the mountains in the back. So it was really nice. This is also my second time in Cali, so it was pretty cool.
It's our second time. It's my first time in Cali, so I was very excited. Got to see a palm tree. And yeah, I would say the time difference definitely did hit me. I might have forgot to turn in an assignment, but yeah, it's a great time in Cali.
Tell us more. Did you have to send an email to a professor or anything?
Absolutely. I forgot that here is 3 hours ahead. I mean, well, behind, yeah. So when it was 11:59 here, it was 2:59 a.m. over there. So I was like, sorry for the late email. I forgot about the time zone. Can I have an extension, please? It's already done. So yeah, but it all worked out.
They said yes, and
Yeah,
we're kind of,
they,
understanding.
Yeah.
What class was that?
It's for my student teaching class, so I have to submit lesson plans every week. So yeah.
How do you sort of look at the matchup, ladies? I mean, Stanford is kind of imposing in the paint and has some shooters, and I know Diamond, that you will present a challenge for them on the perimeter defense as well. Sort of maybe take us through the matchup.
Obviously, Stanford is a pretty good team. They had a lot of success over these past years, so it was nice to go up against a team like that. And we just came up here to compete and play for 40 minutes. We know it's going to be a tough game, but we just have to go out there and give it our all. Like you said, they got good bigs and outside shooters, so we just got to be real disciplined, be smart, and rebound the ball well.
Obviously, Stanford had like a lot of success in the past, and we just really getting into the scene for everybody. So we just honestly trying to stay disciplined, stick to our game plan, and bring our energy.
Yes, absolutely. Stanford's a great program, and we're honestly just ready here to compete 40 minutes. We don't really have much to lose, so we're just ready to play basketball, honestly.
Cheryl Coward, Hoop Feed. Speaking of those things, what are some of the things about Stanford on the court that stand out to you that you feel you need to be ready for individually for each of you?
For me, I would have to say controlling the glass and just their presence in the paint is going to be a big thing to control because I'm one of our primary rebounders. So just seeing their wingspans and getting a good box out.
Yeah, I would say rebounders as well. And defending the three-point line, they got a good inside game, but they also have shooters. So we kind of got to stay disciplined and really follow scout and, yeah, stay disciplined for real.
You guys worded that perfectly. I agree.
When you take it, when you attack the basket against a team with shot blockers like Cameron Brink and even Kiki can block shots too, how do you just stay focused on not letting them necessarily distract what you're trying to do, but just keep going with the game plan?
Honestly, we know that they're going to challenge us at the rim. That's what they're good at. So all week we've been practicing on strong finishes. Even if they get a block, you can always go back and get it. So it's just nothing that we're just trying to be like really unfazed by their presence down there because we don't want to stop attacking or being aggressive just because they are shot blockers. Things will happen and we'll be able to recover further.
Yeah. Yeah. Like she said, we got to be aggressive. We got to stay aggressive. Can't be scared to go in the paint. Hopefully, when you go in the paint, you attack hard. You either get fouls called. You might get your shot blocked too. But we just got to be like really aggressive and create that space enough so that where they can't block the shot.
Yes, absolutely, I agree. Continue attacking the paint and drawing those foul calls to open up, and it'll just make our game easier. So, not to let it phase us. Go up strong and play ball.
And I'm sure once Diamond gets rolling on the perimeter, that really opens things up the way you like to play, perhaps?
Yes, absolutely. Diamond has a great shooting ability, so they have to respect her at the three-point line, so it just makes things easier for us, knowing that they have to step out and put a hand up for her.
Thank you. Thank you, Maria.
Last season, the team who won the conference championship, Howard, had to do a play-in game, but you all don't have to do that. Can you maybe reflect on that and, maybe the being fortunate enough not have to, play a game before getting into the 64 team field?
I think last year we were just stepping on the scene. It was our first time in, I think it was 21 years of being here. So, of course, we got the 16 seed. But this year, after I feel like a lot of people are more familiar with our name and our game and us dominating the MEAC and also dominating outside of conference play as well. So just us showing up two times in a row, I think that got us our opportunity to get that 15 seed.
Yeah, like she said, just being more familiar with Norfolk State, and like you said, they won last year, but they still ended up being the 16th seed. So this year, we had a different goal of we have to, like she said, dominate the MEAC in order for people to see us, as a good team. And we got the 15th seed, so it's pretty nice to see.
I'd also like to add that I also think that Dawn Staley's comment last year also helped with that as well, of us not being a 16 seed again, but also gaining another position of being 15 seed this year.
How much did you learn from last year's experience playing South Carolina?
I think I learned a lot from playing South Carolina. I mean, Leah Boston, Camila Cardozo, they have similar length to Cameron Brink and Kiki. So I think that prepared me to really know what it's going to be like down there and to be prepared to have a fight because it's two dominant posts once again.
I'm so sorry. Can you repeat the question?
I was like, how much did you learn from playing South Carolina last year?
Definitely learned a lot. The SEC world is definitely different, but it also taught me that we're all ball players. We put our pants on the same way, put our shoes on the same way. So regardless of who we're playing, we're just here to compete.
Cheryl Coward, Hoop Feed. In the past couple of years, there's been a lot of talk about players, especially black players, staying or going to HBCUs instead of going to predominantly white institutions, especially, with Jackson State and other teams having big wins. For you personally, why did you want to stay or go to an HBCU instead of going to another school that recruited you? What was the impetus?
First and foremost, I felt like I needed to be home. The experience that I went through in my previous schools, I feel like I just needed support from my family and my friends. And I just wanted to go a different route with the HBCU. And like he said, just putting the basketball piece into perspective, they were MEAC championship. And Coach LV, he got a good system. Everything he told me during the recruitment process, it was real, and I felt it. And everything is happening how it played out, how he said it would play out. He knew my goals. I still want to go to the WNBA, and I think he's been preparing me. He's been preparing me for my goals, and here I am again, back on the big stage. So everything kind of worked out how I saw it in the summertime. I
would definitely say there's a different culture attending a HBCU than a PWI. it's something that you can't really explain. You just have to be there and feel. And I feel that Norfolk State definitely did show me that culture on my visit and gave me welcoming arms, and is my second home away from home. So, yeah.
Choosing the HBCU was very easy for me because of the culture that's built around it. And previously, my older sister went to HBCU, so I got to see the experience before I actually joined it. And just being here, last year was my first year here, and we're building a sisterhood and we're building a family. So it just kept me confident knowing that I chose the right decision.
Norfolk State has some history as a 15 seed. Your men's team won a 15-2 matchup in 2012. How much do you know about that game, and does it give you any extra motivation or confidence heading into this weekend?
I know a lot about that game. I think it was a big moment for Norfolk State, so it's hard to forget about it. One of our alumni, Kyle Quinn, he was on the team, and he still shows us support to this day. And it just gives us hope and faith that it's been done before and it can be done again.
Yeah, facts. When I got here, I saw the banners. Is a banner in the gym or like a painting on the wall of the score and the seed, and then how they played number 1 team or number 2 team in the country. So it was really nice to see. It's kind of like inspirational. Every time you go in the gym, you see it. And I think Coach Jones did it again. I think in I want to say 2014 or 2012. I think they beat Alabama. So it's nice to see because you don't see that a lot, especially on the women's side. But the men's, it give us some sort of inspirational.
I would say about every year on Twitter, they give us the flashbacks and the highlights of that game. So it definitely does provide us some motivation of knowing that definitely can happen again, and that's something that we're looking to achieve as well.
Thank you, Naya, Diamond, and Kiara. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See ya.
We'll now take a short break and be back with Norfolk State Spartans head coach Larry Vickers. As a reminder, please silence all cell phones. Welcome to today's press conference for Norfolk State Spartans head coach Larry Vickers. Norfolk State Sports Information Director is Alex Lembeck. We'll now take questions for Coach Vickers. As a reminder, please state your name and affiliation at the beginning of each question. If you're on the Zoom call and have a question, please use the raise hand function, and I will call on you if we have time for your questions.
I'm going to look good under these bright lights. These are bright.
Larry, Janie McCauley from Associated Press. Nice to see you. Yeah, your women were very well spoken and gave some great answers here.
That's good.
Yep. Along those lines, we asked them a little bit about going against two imposing posts and Brink's shot blocking ability, and just how they were saying that you just attack as usual and don't let them sort of get in your headspace and just keep going. I mean, it seems, is that something you've been coaching them to prepare for this game?
Yeah, that's kind of twofold. I have Fios and Cox back in Virginia, and we don't have Pac-12 network, and I have all the channels. So it was really my first time really seeing this iteration of them two together, and it's imposing. It is, but we know Cameron Brink's in a block shot, so we know it. So tell her good job, and then tell her I'll be back in a couple seconds. But, we got to have that mentality. We score a lot of points in the paint. Obviously, they dominate the paint, but they're going to have to share some of the space a little bit.
Cheryl Coward, Hoop Feed. Along those lines, with your players stating that they just want to stick with the game plan and their scout, and they were, like Janie said, very well spoken and very complimentary of you and why they came to Norfolk State, and they don't seem intimidated at all by the atmosphere, and maybe that's good that you don't have the Pac-12 network and they don't either. Do you kind of see that as an advantage that they may not have as much knowledge about a storied institution with the winningest coach in college basketball history?
Well, I mean, we're very, very familiar with Stanford and who they are and what they represent for women's basketball and coach. I tell everybody, like, I even changed a little bit. She wrote an excerpt in a book. It's called Winning Ways for Women's Sports, and I read it. And it talked about where she sits on the bench and how she hires her staff and things like that. So we're very aware of who they are and what they can do. Luckily, I've been a part of a similar situation to this when I was on the men's side as an assistant, and Norfolk State men's basketball beat Missouri, then #2. So, you can't go into any of these situations scared. Obviously, we know they have post depth. We know their wings are the size of our forwards. We know that. But you got to be confident in situations like this, and we just want to be confident. We want to be confident that some of the things they might struggle with may be one of our strengths, and vice versa. So we obviously struggle to rebound overall, and that's their strength. So we know we have to kind of take advantage of grabbing every defensive rebound that we can.
This is your second straight year in the NCAA tournament. What does it mean to you and your program to get back after last year's campaign?
Well, I've been on Norfolk State campus 22 years as a player, men's assistant, men's associate head coach, and now 8 full years as a women's head coach. So there was a lot of time in there, especially those late 2000s. There was a lot of 1-win, 2-win seasons that I saw. So when they gave me this task, I was up for the challenge. I believed in what our program could be, and 8 years later, back-to-back, is definitely astonishing.
What did you learn from playing South Carolina last year that'll help you tomorrow?
We just want to compete. We want to compete. And, when you play these great basketball teams, I mean, Stanford could have easily been a 1. They could have easily been a 1. And if they probably beat USC, they are a 1. We understand that. So when you see these great basketball teams, you just want to take it one media at a time, one quarter at a time, one period at a time, and then hopefully in the middle of the fourth, you looking up and you have a chance to win. So that's going to be our mentality going into tomorrow night. We know you got a tough task. We've been trying to stay up extra late, you know. So we'll see what that looks like at a 10 p.m. start. But I will say, yesterday we practiced at 10 p.m. would have been our time. And it was one of our better practices. So it made me ask, is that okay for us to practice at 10 o'clock on the East Coast? Because it was definitely one of our better ones.
Larry, your players said that there's a culture that they feel, you know, on your campus and being part of this program. And Diamond coming home and having that support, she mentioned that being really important to her, being around family and friends and the support system of this program. Could you tell us a little bit about maybe the culture around your program and your campus, that for those of us who don't necessarily know?
Okay. Well, you know, I don't have the thickest rule book, but the rules and the things that we do, we want to have a level of perfection with those. And, you know, when I got the call about Diamond, I was like, you know, who's pulling my coattail? Like, but, you know, she's been around our program for years. And, you know, she's been at two very good programs at Rutgers under Coach Stringer and obviously NC State with Coach Walker, with Coach West. And for her to see our program and say, hey, it's something special about that one, you know, when we don't have hundreds of $1,000s in NIL and things like that, it kind of, I guess, just speaks to the way we do things. And it also speaks to the culture on our campus as far as, you know, we play in front of 1,500 fans, which might not be a ton here. But across the women's basketball spectrum, that's more than a lot of A-10 schools. That's a lot more than a lot of Sun Belt schools. So we have constant support for our women's basketball program all year round. And, you know, the band's a little different and the music's a little different. And she thought it was something that, you know, she could be successful in, you know. So for her, well, I guess for me, the difference between South Carolina and this game today is, you know, last year they had, I guess, 10, 12 McDonald's All-Americans. We had 0. You know, this year we at least have one. You know, we have one Jordan game person. We have one Olympian. You know, somebody who can hopefully tomorrow, I know she's going to see a lot of different coverages, put us on our back and carry us through some quarters.
Cheryl Coward, who feed. Diamond is a small guard. She's only 5'5".
Yeah.
But what is special about her? And, you know, she has that Philly fire that Dawn Staley has,
Yeah, for
of
sure.
course. So what's special about her and what she brings to this program?
Well, I mean, she's a professional scorer. That's what she is. She has every shot in the shot tree. When they talk about 3-level scores, you know, sometimes we're like, man, does she have a 4th level? Like, she just has a knack of finding ways to get her shot off. And that can't really be taught. And then, you know, for us, we do run a lot of pro-style stuff, stuff that I think will help her on the next level, making advanced reads, you know, with lifts. And we do some okay stuff, I think so. So, you know, I think that'll just kind of show in her gameplay as we move her to scoring spots, or she's at the one, or wherever she wants to play. You know, we just try and get her involved in a lot of ways.
Larry, did you get a chance to speak to Coach Vanderveer yet?
I saw her outside, but I didn't want to bother her.
Oh, she would like you to bother her.
Everybody was there. The whole staff almost was there. So I was like, are they kind of meeting when we pulled up on the bus? But I'm excited to get a chance to meet her tomorrow.
Okay. Over the years, I've been around her 22 years now, and she, when Dawn Staley was a young coach, she went into the South Carolina locker room here and talked to Dawn and her team. She did it when her alma mater, Albany, was here this season. What does that mean perhaps for young coaches? What does that mean for you to hear that she continues to mentor and learn? She switched, you know, they traded scouts with Albany. Just things like that go a long way with mentoring and showing that she's a lifelong learner and still cares about everybody else she's going against.
Well, you know, I think there are a lot of different coaches across the country. You have culture coaches, you have X and O's coaches, you know, you have defensive-minded coaches that you know what that score is going to look like. I think with Coach, when you turn that film on and you see that she's still running new actions, you know, you're like, oh, she's continuing to grow her offense, where some people you turn on, they've been running the same stuff for the last 20 years, and she is continuing to run great stuff for us young coaches to take and run ourselves. And then obviously, you know, she's coached the highest. You know, so anytime you have a moment, Olympians, anytime you have a moment to take in any wisdom from that, you want to.
What's something you're looking for in the first quarter tomorrow, where if it happens, you'll feel good about your team's chances?
I'll tell you this. It's going to be key for us to box out. I guess that'll be number one. You know, they're going to be able to score the basketball. So I'll be looking to see how they play certain ball screen actions early and see if I have to shift a game plan or two in the game. But, you know, boxing out is the easy one, but the middle ball screen coverage will be something that I'll really be paying attention to.
Any more questions for Coach Vickers? Thank you, Coach, and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you all for attending today's press conferences.
Thank you.
We hope to see you for tomorrow's games beginning at 4:30 p.m. Thank you.